Championship Wrestling.
Guess who? Guess who? Tell me, guess who?
I know who you are.
Yeah, you ought to know. Let me tell you something.
Brody.
I don't want to get personal with you or nobody else for that matter. But don't shuffle me as another name on Championship Wrestling. You know, when I came in the country from overseas last week, I was passing through Los Angeles and saw the show on TV. Gordon Soley telling everybody how big Bruiser Brody is. Everybody who knows anything about professional wrestling knows how big I am. You don't need to tell them how big, what kind of wrestler I am. What they want to know and what you want to know is what I can do in the ring. If what they heard about what I do in the ring is true, don't give him the gaga about he's another big goose, 300 pounds in the wrestling business. Don't give him the gaga about what a good wrestler I am, because none of that matters. You get down to the guts of the situation and tell him exactly what I do in the ring. That way, I'm going to get along with you. I'm going to get along with everybody. The wrestlers, the promoters, the fans, and mostly you.
Yeah, well, all right, I'll tell you what, Mr. Brody, we have a match scheduled. Big Jim Duggan is scheduled to wrestle right now, and if you don't mind, we'll just turn it over to our ring announcer. What? Well, I'll be... Bruiser Brody charges in as Rose started to come to him. It's Bruiser Brody after Rose. The referee calling for the bell as he is disqualified. Ooh! Slammed him into that ring apron. Now has... Brody just going berserk here on Pat Rose. Just went absolutely berserk. And again, Rose literally demolished by this man, Brody, and...
Now talk to me. I feel a whole lot better right now than I did a couple minutes ago when I was out here. You know, a lot of guys can come out here week after week, and they can shoot their big mouths off. And I'll probably be the biggest offender there's ever been, because I got a great big yapper that nobody's been able to close. I told you, and I told everybody who watches this show, I don't care whether it's on the East Coast or the West Coast, I came here for a reason. Don't think I'm looking for work. I'm not. I came here because I was asked. I was asked personally to come here. And don't mistake me, I wasn't asked to come here for money, because what I'm going to do here, I don't want paid for. I come here on a personal favor for a very, very personal friend of mine. And what's going to happen? Go ahead, butt in, because I know we're going to have a lot of conflict.
Well, I'm just a little...
But I'm going to make it clear, this is a beginning. Don't say I've never seen nothing like it, because you're going to see a lot more of it.
Well, Pat Rose is the victor in that match. Obviously, you heard the referee calling for the bell the minute that Brody started to interfere in that situation.
Thank you very much. I've been gone approximately 9-10 months, and I've just arrived back, and I'm really enjoying the nice weather down here. I just arrived back from Canada, and I was wrestling up there, plus I was doing some extensive wrestling throughout Europe and Japan, and I'm looking really forward to getting in the ring here and meeting some of the top competition. I understand you have some real top men here, and of course that's the name of the game in professional wrestling is competition, and I'm going all out to go right to the top.
I know I mentioned earlier during your match, of course, that you are an exponent of the pile driver, but not the form of a pile driver that a Terry Gordy delivers, as an example, that is designed to jam the neck and injure a man. I know that you do it just enough to stun a man to take a victory.
That's right. That's all I'm interested in, is securing a victory. I'm not out to injure a man or hurt a man. I never have done anything intentionally to hurt my opponent, to put him out of action, to cripple him. But I understand this fellow, this Terry Gordy, who is part of the Freebirds, I understand. He is a sadistic individual, and he goes all out to cripple and injure his opponent. I don't agree with this type of philosophy, but I'll tell you one thing. If I ever get in the ring with him, he's the one that's going to get hurt, not me.
Fair enough. Iron Mike Sharp, thank you so very much. Outstanding gentleman and outstanding competitor, and we'll be back in a moment. I thought it might be of interest to all of us to listen to this man at this time.
The 57-day wonder, the man that they said couldn't do anything, has finally done it all. There's not a human being that's ever put a pair of tights on anywhere in the world, alive in the world, that can say that he's helped the world's heavyweight title more times than Harley Race. 6 times world's heavyweight champion. And buddy, I'm not done yet. At 38 years old, there's still many and many and many a mile left, many a record for me to set all on my own. But Tommy Rich, I want to give credit where credit is absolutely due. You're a man among men. 7 days ago, you did not have to, or nor could you have been forced into it, had given me the opportunity of winning this back. But you were that kind of a man, the man that I have been all my life, regardless of whoever else may have comments in another direction. And I'm going to give you your just due. You can have that return any time you want it, buddy. Anytime you want it, come after it, because you're talking the living legend above all. Right here, right now, the world's heavyweight champion, 6 times around. Can you imagine how many years it's going to be before there's another human being that's capable of breaking a record like that? I am truly the wrestler's wrestler. It says it right on the top of the buckle. World's heavyweight champion.
The entire eyes of the wrestling world will be focused on the Omni on Sunday, May 17th. A couple of very, very important facets for the matches at the Omni on the 17th. The Georgia Heavyweight Championship round-robin tournament. There must be a winner. A new champion will be crowned. And Tommy Rich is one of the contestants in that, and a $10,000 bounty has been put on you by the Freebirds.
You know, by the Freebirds, that's exactly right, Gordon. First of all, we're starting in Chattanooga tonight, and I'm starting against the Freebirds. Hayes, I've told you once, I've told you 100 times, brother, if you had the guts and you was a man, you wouldn't put a bounty out. You're so big and bad, you run that mouth, you'd get in the ring. You know, right here to Omni, the biggest thing that's ever happened. Just like Harley Race said, I am the #1 contender. But to prove it, Gordon, to prove it, I need the Georgia strap. They've got the big tournament, $5,000, and Hayes has got $10,000 bounty. It wasn't nothing tickled me more than to see Mr. Hayes, Mr. Sissy, Mr. whatever he is. You know, wouldn't nothing tickle me more than to cost him some money, you know. And Gordon, I'm going to have to watch them all. $10,000 is a lot of money, you know, and sometimes money speaks louder than words. So, you know, it might be some folks in there trying to get me, you know, that I wouldn't even think would do it. But Bruiser Brody, I seen him out here. You talking about a nut or a wild man? I don't know what the guy is, but, you know, he's definitely tough. I've seen him go, and I'm not taking nothing away from him. But just like I said, Gordon, I've got to be on my toes all the time, and that's exactly where I plan on being, you know, because just like I said, the people in Georgia, the people all over the country, they've got behind Tommy Rich. They pushed me to the top, and, you know, I ain't going to let them down. I've had a knee. I've been hurt. I was off 5 to 6 weeks, and I ain't getting hurt no more, Hayes. I come back to Georgia to stay, brother. The Omni, the Georgia best, $5,000. The Omni, I'm coming, Hayes, and I'm going to get your money too, brother.
His opponent from Tampa, Florida, at 220 pounds, Tommy Wright.
Okay, Tommy Wright going up against Brian St. John. This should be an interesting match. Both men Floridians. Somewhat similar in height and in physical disposition. Brian St. John, I would imagine, has an edge on experience on Tommy Wright. All right, good back out by Wright is Brian St. John, and went in for an ankle sweep. Wright backing out. Collar and elbow, and test between, you could see both men trying each other out for strength, balance, leverage, and neither man really gaining much advantage at that point. Again, collar and elbow, duck under, go behind, takedown by Brian St. John. All right, very, very close to those ropes. And they are. They're into the ropes, and so the referee calls for the break. Again, collar and elbow. This time, Tommy Wright getting it from a side headlock to a side headlock to a hammerlock to a drop toe hold. And Wright very quickly bars the arm, slides up from the toe hold. Had a crotch ride momentarily on the leg. And it was Brian St. John breaking up the hammerlock very nicely. Headlocking his man, taking him over. Duck under. Heel block and waist pull to take him down. Maintains the ride. Wright trying to escape if he can. Back to his knees. Into the ropes. A lot of basics here between these two. Overhook. Oh, beautiful takedown by Brian St. John. Overhooked the arm, then came across the body. Into the ropes once again. Again, Brian St. John with the takedown. You notice the diversity that he has. Underhooks that arm, has the one hammer locked. So Tommy Wright has some problems here in trying to get himself away from this position and go back on the offense. St. John keeping him tied up. Moving along to the side of the body. Putting more pressure now coming across the side of the face of Tommy Wright. So as Brian St. John continues to press full advantage here. Referee watching carefully now. Outstanding match between these two men. Both men have been closely adhering to the rules and regulations of the match, and so now St. John in behind his man once again. Off the ropes. Ooh, what an elbow. Man, did he catch him with that forearm. Now drives the knee into the back of the head. And Tommy Wright does not know where he's at right now, except he must know he's in a lot of trouble. Brian St. John suddenly exploded on him, coming off the ropes, and now Wright fires back. And good second effort here on the part of Tommy Wright. Tommy Wright giving it everything he's got now. He's proven one thing. He's got a lot of intestinal fortitude. Wow. Caught him coming in. Beautiful power slam to the canvas. Wright trying to power out, but it was too late. It was too late as Brian St. John. And you talk about going back to the basics.
Your integrity is at stake solely.
Well, Mr. Brody, if you wish to speak to me, if you'll move over to this side, I'll be more than happy to carry on a discussion with you at this point in time, but I would prefer a little calmness.
Pick me apart. I'm not going to yell at you, and I'm not going to yell at nobody looking at me. Pick me apart. You got something you want to know about me?
No, sir, it wasn't a particular situation of anything that I wanted to know about you. I think I know quite enough about you. We saw you in action last week here on television, and I think that certainly spoke for itself.
No. You know, I saw that film, too, that you're talking about. I made the darn thing. I know what was on the film. You know what was on the film. Obviously, the promotion here knows what was on the film. The only people that don't know what was on that film is you. You didn't get to see it. Why? Why was the film cut? Why doesn't everybody get the same opportunity you got and I got?
Well, first of all, sir, there was a certain amount of scrupulous editing that had to be done.
No.
Let's take a look at it. Let's go back and take a look at it again then.
Film on. Put the film on.
All right, the introduction's being made at this time. You're being introduced at this point in time, and As I made mention at this time, here's a man, your opponent, 260 pounds, and yet you frankly dwarf him.
Let me tell you something. Tell him the truth, why the film wasn't showed in its entirety. I want to ask everybody, I want to ask you just to stop and think. When is the last time, for some of you people that have been watching sports for a long time, do you remember Carmen Barcilio, the old boxer from New York? Do you remember how his career ended? Have you ever seen an eye? I mean an eye when it swells about the size of a beach ball. I mean it's closed. There's no blood, there's nothing. It's closed. It's completely sealed. It's weeping from the side.
Well, see, Mr. Brody.
Let me tell you something. If you can see the film, they can see the film.
Well, we're watching it right now.
Didn't show the film. I know why the film wasn't shown to everybody. I told you I'm going to be completely honest with you and everybody that watches this show every week. The film was not shown for the simple reason nobody in the state of Georgia or anywhere else in the country would extend an invitation to me to come and get in the ring with them. For some reason, you got wrestling mixed up with the Follies Brigade around here. I never seen so many, and I mean so many, pretty young boys, blonde hair, pink underwear, or whatever they're wearing. Somewhere along the line, everybody here got the Follies Brigade mixed up with professional wrestling. Wrestling is not shooting your mouth off and dressing pretty in the ring. Wrestling is going in the ring and totally disabling the man any way you know how. If you're going to criticize me for doing what the sport is all about, well, then maybe they need to find new people to put in the ring with me, new people to do the announcing, and new people to do the promoting. Wrestling is a fight. It's not a game, it's a fight. And that's exactly what they didn't want to show you on that film. You understand, and I know they understand.
Well, may I just say this, Mr. Brody? First of all, I think it was rather obvious why we didn't need to show the balance of that, because this man Schaefer was hurt quite badly. Mr. Brody showed him no mercy whatsoever, continued to pummel and punish